The Superman that I want to talk about today was just a little boy. He couldn't fly, he couldn't run really fast. Well, he could probably run, but I don't know how fast he could run. But he couldn't leap over buildings, he couldn't pick things up, he couldn't chuck things. But he was a superhero. I wonder if you can guess his name. I'm going to give you a few clues. Well, he was a shepherd's boy. So he would have a shepherd's staff. He would also have what they called a sling. I suppose today we would call it something like a catapult. Now, I know a lot about catapults because I've played with catapults for quite a while. Yeah, when I was little, I used to even make my own catapults. And to prove that what I'm saying is true, here's a little video of me showing off. Right, in our story about David, he said that David used a sling. But I said I've got a catapult. And I've used catapults quite a bit. For my targets, I've got different things. And therefore we'll be able to judge how good David was. Now, if you remember in our story, we said David might have said a prayer. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Lord, guide my aim. Thank you, Lord. Now that was a bit closer. I don't really know how far David was from Goliath, but I've put a little bit more distance between the targets and me this time. So let's see. Am I that good? Try the golf ball. We're back to this superhero. One day his dad sent him on an errand to go and visit his brothers. Something we can't do these days because of keeping apart from families. But he went, and while he was going, he heard somebody screaming and shouting and challenging the people of Israel. And it was like a, ho, 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 where are you strong men? You're all cowards. If there's one strong man, if there's one Superman among you, come out and fight me. This bloke was a giant. He was huge. Goliath had a shield, a spear, and a sword. But the person that he was going to fight had only a stick and a sling, or a catapult as we said. And so he went out to challenge this giant. And he says to Goliath, he says, listen, I know you've got armor and I know you've got weapons. All I've got is this sling and my God. And with the two things, my God and my sling, I am going to defeat you. And so the giant said, Goliath said to him, come on then, I'm going to tear you apart. And I'm going to feed you to the birds of the air. So David, that's his name now, have you got it? David ran up to the giant, towards Goliath. And he took a sling and he swung it. And I can just imagine him saying a prayer. Remember what I told you about a prayer? And he says, God, take aim for me. God, make this stone go really straight. Whoof. And he watched, and the stone went, and it kept going, and it kept going, and then suddenly, bang, straight into the forehead of Goliath. And Goliath, he was so shocked, he started to wobble like he was drunk. And he collapsed. Now, David ran to finish him off, and because he had no weapons, he took Goliath's sword. And you know what he did? He finished off the giant. In the name of his God, David was a conqueror.